Thank you for joining me here today at Harmony Yoga. The yoga message of inner contentment can't be dismissed during this time of home quarantine or that stay-at-home order. But this is an opportunity to seek our fulfillment from the inside out. Have you noticed that as we get down to the essentials of what's important in our life? A lot of that comes from the inside. And so our yoga practice can help us magnify that inner contentment. Maybe it even helps us understand how content we truly are, to follow the orders, to be at home, and to find that place of contentment within ourselves, working really from the inside out rather than the outside in. And we learn that any event in life can actually be an opportunity to grow. And so I come to you from a place of learning right along with you, not that I have this all figured out at all. But the encounter that we have with ourselves helps us see how resilient we are, how magnificent we are, how much we really do shine if we allow ourselves to shine from the inside out, and to really embrace that magnificence and not let ourselves get bogged down by circumstances really beyond our control. So I want you to join me in a little meditation this morning. So sitting up nice and tall, closing your eyes, and we start to connect with this belief that contentment is not complacency, but it is actually reverence. So dip below the surface of the imperfect world, sometimes created by our own imaginations, and connect to the divinity that underlines our existence. It's a pretty powerful thought. But it's a beautiful invitation to come outside of our circumstances and come back to that place where we are divinely held, supported, inspired, and created. Elongate the spine. Take that deep inhale in through the nose. Let the exhale help you ground. We sit here silently with our attention not focused on anything, not making an effort to concentrate, but with a mind that moves towards stillness. Listening with ease, listening without strain. Embracing the stillness allows us to create this extraordinary change within ourselves. Allow this change to take place. A change which comes without your volition, even without your asking. And in that change, there is great beauty, a great depth of insight. So in our postures today, the same way right now your eyes are resting closed, but even with a soft gaze, we can not rest on one particular point, but any point. Breathing into every cell of the body and listening with every cell in your body. For the moment, just take your awareness to the soles of your feet and the palms of your hands. We'll do the same throughout our practice today. So wherever life circumstances have taken you today, can you meet yourself right here on this mat where our mind is embodied in the here and now? Let your awareness sink down into the place of the heart. We are anchored, we're safe, we're still, we're supported. Allow those truths to wash over you today. If you find yourself wanting to run off your mat and back into the busyness or the anxious thoughts, just bring yourself right back here and notice without any shame or guilt or any belittling comment to yourself about how you can't stay. Just celebrate when you do come back. We come back with the breath, we come back with our mind, we come back in our body. This place of contentment. Still with your eyes closed, feel the length of your spine. Feel the gentle air across your skin. Allow this posture to bring you deeply into the moment, and you will experience contentment. Not as a resignation, but as the vibrant experience of all living beings. As the song that is sung by a world that is sacred. Taking your awareness to the soles of your feet. Ground your lower body. Allow the spine to rise. Take the awareness to the palms of your hands that are either resting on your knees or your thighs. And then bring the palms of your hands into the heart, pressing the thumbs into the heart and the heart back into the thumbs. Allow that to help you rise a little higher. Hands come together into this present moment. We're neither in the past or in the future, but we're right here, right now. Not coincidental, this is also a prayer posture in this present moment. We feel that contentment wash over us. And maybe some of those anxious thoughts or the depressed thoughts start to wash away as we come into the truth of this moment. That we are magnificent, and we let that shine out. Inhale deeply, and exhale, release your hands. We're going to start out in a standing position. Go ahead and clear your things off your mat, have your blocks handy, and then look down at your feet. The feet are facing forward, parallel, and just right below your hip bones. So the hip bones, the knees, the ankles, the toes line up. And then lift and separate your toes, bend your knees slightly and move your inner thighs back. Scoop the base of your tailbone down, allow the midsection to firm, draw the ribs in, create that long side body, not by shrugging, but by creating length here, rotating the shoulders back, palms come forward. Feel how strong you are in this posture. It takes work, right? It takes work to kind of hug in and hold. And now if you go passive, notice what happens to your posture. So now I'm kind of relaxed, but I'm really not in very good alignment. I'm kind of dumping into one hip, that knee is locked. Come back, sending the energy down both legs. Again, bending the knees, thighs back. Lift and open the heart, rotate the hands back. And then what I notice in my own day-to-day, if I'm complaining about something, typically the posture is a little more like this. But if I'm really excited and want to share good news, my posture is a little more upright and open. So sometimes simply shifting the posture will shift the mind. And that's kind of the point of yoga, right? We start to move around in our body, and our mind and our spirit can't help but come along. So that's where we're going to go today, feeling the soles of the feet, moving down toward the earth. Inhale, let the arms float up on the breath. When you begin to initiate the exhale, then the arms follow the exhale back down, and do that again. Pause here until your body starts to inhale, then let your arms float up on the inhale. Feel yourself still pushing down into the soles of your feet, but bring the awareness to your palms, and exhale one more time, coming back down to the bottom. Keeping that heart lifted and open and ribs back. Good. Tailbone rooting down. Now this time we're going to lift up. Keep pushing down through both feet. Your arms are going to start to come over to the right, and feel the tendency to push off your left foot, but that left foot is going to stay grounded just like the right foot. Opening the heart, maybe even looking up toward the sky. Back to center. We're going to follow the breath here. On your next exhale, you're going to lean over to the left, pushing down through the right foot just the same as the left, but you're going to resist the temptation to come up onto the heel or onto the ball of the foot by lifting the heel. On your next inhale, come back to center, and then bring your hands to your thighs and inhale, lift the heart, and exhale, round the upper back. So if you've been practicing with me, you'll notice I always like to warm up the spine first in all 6 directions. So here we're going side to side, front to back, stretching and lengthening the spine, front and back, and then we're going to do a gentle twist. Inhaling, lifting the arms up to the sky, staying firmly committed with the soles of your feet. The palms are moving, twisting over toward the right, palms facing each other. And then as you exhale, the hands come down, palms now are facing up. Inhale to the sky, pausing with the breath. We're going to rotate over to the left, arms come down. And let's go again, up. Staying connected to that breath. Now we're going to hold that breath all the way in, letting the breath move deeper as we exhale now. Arms come down. Good. Inhale back up. Holding the breath all the way to the left, and then arms come down on the exhale. And then inhaling up to the sky and pausing back to center, and exhale, sweep the hands down, bend the arms, or bend the knees. And you can bend the arms. Good. Going back and forth with the breath. Let your arms connect with the breath. That's where a lot of the deep experience comes from, is recognizing the power of the breath and not moving until that breath is initiated. Let's go one more. Maybe you even sweep the floor. Good. Bring your hands down. Now, standing on just the left foot, bring the sole of the right foot into the inner thigh, bringing the hands together. Again, so we're going to connect our attention to the soles of the feet. Left sole pushing down, right sole pressing into the inner left thigh, palms pressing together. As we do that, do you feel yourself growing taller, lifting up through the crown of the head, and do you feel the heart lifting? Good. Draw the ribs back. Scoop the tailbone down. How solid do you feel? How content are you in this posture? It's all right if you're not. We've got a chance to go on the other side. Standing on your right foot. Again, so the sole of the foot is reaching down toward the earth. The left sole of the foot coming to the inseam, pressing the hands together. Move the thighs back and then scoop the tailbone down. So that tailbone, it's almost like a power source that moves down that standing leg. So really plug in the standing leg through the tailbone moving down and the ribs moving back and the heart lifting. If you're like me and wobbling a little bit, that means you're trying today. That means you're pushing your envelope, and that's where we grow stronger, maybe even raising the arms up toward the sky. Good, and then exhaling, coming out of that posture. So let's come to the front of our mat, and feet are, oops, I gotta grab your block. You're gonna want that for your forward fold. Inhale, bring your arms up to the sky. And exhale, come down to your forward fold, either to the floor or use your block. And inhale, lift the head and heart forward. And exhale, release down. Do that again. Inhale, lift forward. And exhale, down. Inhale the right leg back to deep lunge. And take that left knee right over the left ankle. Walking your hands up the front knee. Scissor your legs together. Reaching the right arm up to the sky, or both. Reaching your arms a little bit higher. Now feel where the soles of your feet are. Push down through the feet. You're on the ball of the back foot, but you can sure drop that back heel down and then press into both the soles of both feet, all 4 corners. Palms are facing each other, fingertips lifting up toward the sky. Now begin to rotate over toward your right Bring your arms down, shoulder height. Now shift your feet so they're perpendicular. Flip your palms down. Look out over your left fingers. Good. Cartwheel your hands down. Step back to downward facing dog. Bending one leg and then the other. Staying here, I just realized I didn't put in my AirPods for you, but I don't know where they are. So, okay, we'll go ahead. So you're in your down dog. And now bring the right foot forward. Bring the right knee over the right ankle. Bring your hands up to the knee. Feel free to stay here if you need that for support. Notice when you push into your knee, you're actually drawing your ribs back, and that's that power center. Taking your back thigh back, reaching the left arm up to the sky, or bringing both arms up. So now take awareness to the soles of your feet. The right sole is pressing down. Maybe you can even kind of go at a 45-degree angle with that back leg, or you can stay propped up on the ball of your foot, either way. Reaching up through your fingertips. Hips are trying to face forward, but there's a little bit of pull because that back foot might be down. So just see what you can do here about drawing the hips forward. One more breath, hugging in. Now exhale, you're going to turn toward the left. Shift so your feet are perpendicular. Lifting the heart, but bringing your arms down, palms face up. Notice this is the external rotation of that shoulder girdle. Keep that and just flip your hands down. And then turn and look over the right hand. Staying here, firmly connected to the earth through the soles of your feet. Palms are reaching out in both directions here. Nice, one more deep breath in. Cartwheel your hands down and step forward, forward fold. Feet are parallel and hip width apart. Lifting, the energy is drawing up from the soles of the feet up to the hips and then over the spine and releasing out the back of the head. Do that with the breath. Inhale, draw the energy up. Exhale, let the energy come back down. Sit your hips back like you're going to sit into a chair, reaching the hands forward. And then push down, rise up, bring the hands to the heart here. Thumbs press in, heart presses back into the thumbs. Pause, close the eyes, and just begin to feel the body from the inside out. So remember, the contentment starts from the inside. So we start to pay attention. It's called interoception. We pay attention to what's going on inside of the body. Can you notice better when your eyes are closed? So we are letting go of the sensation of the external, bringing the awareness to the internal. Does your heart feel lighter? Your feet feel more solidly grounded to the earth? Are you more present in this space, or has your mind wandered off to what? I mean, it's lunch for me, so I'm thinking about lunch is going to taste pretty good, but I am right here in this moment, or right here, right now. Good, and then release your hands. So now we're going to come back to that original crescent posture. Feet again are going to be parallel and hip width apart. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky, feeling the soles of the feet grounding down, but the palms are reaching up and away. So we've got this long line of energy from the feet up to our fingertips. And then lean over to the right, push down through the left foot. The sole of the left foot is connected. And now draw the toes of the right foot up towards your nose. You're gonna hike that leg up into the hip socket. So if you can see, my hands are on my hips and my right hand is higher than my left. So we're not bending the knee or what's another thing people do here? Really just bending the knee instead of hiking that hip up. That's what we're looking for here. So we're leaning over, hiking that foot up, drawing the toes up toward my nose. Right? And it's okay if you wobble. That means you're activating muscles that aren't used to this posture. Good, and release your hands down. And let me just say that if we always did the same thing every day, we wouldn't really wobble necessarily because our bodies are used to the same thing we're doing. So that's the other intrinsic factor of yoga, is we're always doing something new that your body's not used to. And that's why we kind of wobble. And some people say, oh, I can't do yoga. Well, the whole point is none of us can actually do yoga. It's a practice, right? We just keep practicing and practicing, and there's never a recital. So we don't have to worry about that. Lean over now to the left, shift your weight onto the right foot, draw the left toes up towards your nose and hike that left hip higher. Maybe you got to touch down to rebalance, that's okay. We're just trying here, right? So any progression of that posture that feels right for you, join us. Draw the belly in, pushing down more through the right foot, drawing the left hip higher. Good, and come back down. Good, and release your hands. Another way I like to teach that shifting of the hips that is so important, especially as we get older. We want to maintain that flexibility and mobility, the range of motion. You can stand here. If we did left foot on the block, if you've got a book or something else, that even a step that you can stand on, and look at now, to make my hips level, my right toes have to be tippy-toe to the floor. What happens now if I pull the right toes up toward me? Okay, my hips are still level, but I'm balancing here, so that's progress. But then if I hike that hip up higher, notice now my right hip is higher than my left. Good. And then you can go back and forth. So now my left hip is higher, and then I can pull up, and now my right hip is higher, and you can go back and forth with the breath. So inhaling, right hip higher, exhaling, right hip lower. Touching down if you need to in between. Good, we'll do one more. Inhaling, lifting. Whoa! Recalibrate, good, and come down. Let's go to the other side. So yep, this isn't called yoga perfect, right? Because none of us are perfect at this. We can just have fun with it. So just laugh at yourself if you bobble like I do. Okay, right foot up on the block, left toes down. Feel now if I drop that right foot more, or the left foot more, that left hip is below my right hip. And then you can go as slow here as you like. You can pause, or you can keep moving with the breath. Let's go one more. This is a wonderful thing to practice. Again, if you're on your stairs, hanging onto the railing, just adding that mobility will really help you just in your normal day-to-day gait. That's a wonderful thing. We want to keep all parts moving in conjunction, which I just have to say, this is like a commercial for yoga. The other thing yoga does is it gets all of our parts to work together. And again, a lot of the things we do each day, we only need one joint or two, and yoga makes all of our joints have to work together. So it's as much of a neuro exercise as it is a physical exercise. Okay, so come back to the front of your mat. Let's go around for another sun salutation here. Inhaling, make sure your block is handy. Inhale, reach up to the sky, and exhale, fold over, forward fold. Inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. Using your block on the highest setting, this time we're going to step the left leg back, swivel the back heel down, and bring the left hand to the left hip. Turn and look up over the shoulder or down to your front foot. In either case, though, we're trying to work the left shoulder back. Again, that's that external rotation, right? So whether your hand is on your hip to the sky or overhead, the shoulder is still externally rotated, okay? Pausing here with the breath. Now reaching the arm up to the sky, straightening the front leg. Feel free to move the block back or make the block shorter. If you move it out of the way though, sometimes what happens is this. Can you see now I'm internally rotated with the shoulder, I'm kind of collapsing down. So we want to keep that heart open, keep the shoulder back. If you can do that without the block, fine, but there's no award there. There's no award ceremony here in this practice. So feel free to raise yourself as high as you like. We start to create the muscle memory of openness. All right, so taking another breath here, settling in, finding your contentment in the posture. For me right now, contentment means looking down at my front foot, giving my neck a break. Then maybe I can start to look back up at my top hand. Good, releasing down now. Move the block out of the way, step back to top of a push-up position. Shoulders want to stay, or shoulders do kind of want to collapse. What we want is shoulders up and away from the floor. So even if you bend your knees, drag your elbows back and start to lower yourself down. You want the shoulders away from the floor as you lower. And then flatten out the tops of the feet, dragging the hands back, reach the heart forward. Exhaling down. Fingertips out at a diagonal, elbows up toward the sky, and inhale, lift. And exhale, lower, look under your right armpit. Tops of the feet are still pressing down, inhaling back to center, and exhaling over to the left. Good, one more time each side, inhale, and exhale. And to the left. Good, coming back to center, bringing your hands back, and then come back to a child's pose. So knees are wide, big toes are touching, move the hips back toward the heels. Remember, if that's not okay for your knees, it's okay to be in rabbit pose. Right? You still get that nice benefit without jeopardizing the knees. So just go with the flow of your body. And then reach your hands out in front, curl the toes under, and lift back up to down dog. Swivel your heels over to the left, look under your right armpit. And come back to center. Pause here for one round of breath. And then heels to the right, look under the left. Are you holding your breath? Or can you find that contentment by breathing? And then coming back to center. And let's bring the left foot up to the front of your mat. Again, grab your block. Swivel your back heel down. Bring your right hand to the right hip. Bending into the left knee. Your feet are perpendicular. Start to turn your awareness, turn your face, your shoulder back. So this right shoulder is going back. Shoulder blades draw together on the back. Move your hips out to the left and then scoop the tailbone, pressing down. You may decide you want to lower down, but try to keep that shoulder back. I'm going to keep lifted just to show you a little bit of the difference. And then I'm going to straighten the front leg, reach the top arm up to the sky. Join me here in triangle posture. Again, moving the hips back if you like, drawing the shoulder back, and then the fingers. The fingers are reaching up toward the sky, not behind me, but right up toward the sky. And then again, finding that contentment with the neck, fixing your gaze on any point that feels comfortable for the neck. There's not just one space there. Take one more deep breath in. Good, and exhale, release. Step forward, forward fold. And then drop your hips down, walk your torso between your knees, reaching your hands out. Or I've got something solid to tuck my fingers under. That's another way I can help stretch my heart forward by pulling back on my hands. Good, and then lower down. So let's face the wide side of your mat. And take your feet out as wide as you like. They don't have to go super far. Find a comfortable space for you. Again, you've got your blanket there if you want to just sit your hips up on your blanket and notice how that might make you feel a little bit better. This is your practice, so the more adept you get at making yourself contented and comfortable, the more relaxed you're going to be in your posture. So toes are facing the sky, so are the knees. And then try to draw the toes back toward your, just toward your knees to activate the muscles in the legs. And then pressing down into the earth behind you, or if you're sitting up on your blanket, feel free to press into your blanket, creating the curve in the spine and the heart, so you're lifting up through the crown of the head and the heart is lifted. Yeah, that's amazing. And you can stay there, or you can start to walk your hands forward. So keeping the length of the spine, inhale, lift, and exhale, begin to come forward. Now, you've heard me say this before. The more you push this pose, the tighter you're going to get and the more uncomfortable it's going to be. So again, finding the contentment, keeping the spine long, and maybe this is your posture. But as you exhale, maybe you just come forward just a little bit. So get your mind and your ego out of the way and just let your body and your breath work together here to bring you to a contented place. Bending and straightening the arms is one way to kind of check in with yourself. How am I doing here? I'm not forcing myself into this posture. I'm not forcing myself into life events. Life is happening for me, not to me. Life is working on your behalf. So find that contentedness in the flow of life and the flow of the river. We're jumping into the flow, finding solace in the company we keep along the journey. Let's do one more breath here. Good. Now staying upright, coming to an upright position, and then bring the sole of your right foot into the inseam of your left leg. Push through the left heel. Take your right hand to the ball of the big toe, so left, and my thumb is down, so I'm going to use that leverage to start to turn over to the right. So if you can't easily touch your foot, you can just take your hand to the inside of your knee. Notice that still helps me turn to the right, or to the shin, or to the ankle, or the ball of the foot. Take the right arm up to the sky. Stay upright or start to lean over to the left. Anchor both sitting bones down. Notice that now that right hip wants to pop up off the floor. Keep the right hip down and go with the breath so you don't overdo it here. Close your eyes and find the contentment in the pose. Good, and release. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. Again, your hips can still be up on the edge of that blanket. That's a nice way to create the curve in the low back. But with the soles of the feet together, you're going to push the ball of the big toes, the ball of the little toe, and the heels together. Push the hands into the earth behind you to lengthen the spine. That made me, feel so good right here. You don't want to move, or you can start to fold forward. But trying to move up and out of the pelvis and reaching the heart forward rather than caving in toward the earth, okay? So keep the integrity of the spine and then come forward. Grabbing the ball, the big toes with the peace fingers, the index finger and the middle finger, drawing the toes up while pressing the little toes down. Can give a little traction into all the bones into the feet here, especially the ball of the toe and the toes themselves. Now straighten out the right leg, bring the left foot into this inseam of the right leg, and then take your hand down wherever it feels comfortable for you. We're going to start to turn away, turn toward the left knee, placing that hand where it feels comfortable, not overdoing it here. Reaching the left arm up to the sky, rooting both hips down. Maybe this is your posture. You don't need to go any farther. Taking a breath, softening with the breath. Then maybe you can start to lean over. There's a lot at play here, a lot of vulnerable tissue, so you want to use the breath so you don't overdo it. Good, and come back upright. Now, let's let's do a gentle twist onto our back. So coming onto the back, laying down, and let's do this. Cross the right ankle over the left knee and interlace your hands behind the left hamstring. Move your hips down toward the earth. Let there be some space behind your lower back. Lift and separate the toes on both feet. Feel that up into the right hip. And then you're going to decide if you want to straighten up the left foot, reaching the left heel up toward the sky, or keeping that leg bent. In either case, the leg is active. And then press the knee and the knee and the ankle together with about 80% force. Taking a breath and then backing off. And then do that again. Press the knee and the ankle together. Feel that up in the hip. And then bend the left leg. Place the foot on the floor. Here's the twist. Taking the arms out kind of in a cactus position, let the right foot come to the left side of your mat. Your gaze can be up to the sky or over the right shoulder. Moving this hip away from you, you can use your hands to gently move the leg and the hip away. Come back to center, hug both knees in. Place the right foot on the floor, cross the left ankle over the right knee, and interlace your hands behind the right hamstring. By pushing into the interlaced hands, can you feel your pelvis tilt? So your hips move down toward the earth, the low back lifts. So that's a nice stretch up into the left hip. Lift and separate the toes, staying here or reaching the right heel up toward the sky. Press the knee and the ankle together with about 80% effort. Exhale, release. Keep your arms integrated up into the shoulder socket so you're not pulling your arms out of the socket. And then do that one more time. Press the knee and the ankle together. Deep breath in. And release the breath, release the pressure, bending the left or the right foot down to the floor. The left foot comes out to the right side of the mat. And you're turning, arms are in cactus, you're turning and looking over the left shoulder. Moving the left hip away by pushing it just gently, kind of coaxing it away from you so we create some space. And then gently come back to center, hugging the knees in again, rocking side to side as a way to release any tension there, and then straightening the legs out into your Shavasana position. Press the elbows down, walk the shoulders underneath you. Again, that low back is lifting up and away from the floor. If it is essential, if it feels like you're really stretching to get your head to the floor, of course you've got your blanket here so you can place your head on your blanket. But if you don't need it, it's not wise to use it. You're better off coming to the ground with the back of your head with your chin level to the earth. Looking up toward the sky, and then softly closing the eyes. Palms are faced up. That's how we know we are externally rotated in the shoulders, and we walk our shoulders together. And then just let go. The feet naturally flop open to the side. The heart is so broad and so magnificent. You are shining and glowing. I can see it from here. Teach you a nice breath exercise that can help if you're laying in bed. This is a great way to put yourself to sleep. And it goes like this. We're going to breathe in through the nose and send the breath down to the belly. And then as we exhale, we're going to exhale out the bottoms of the feet. So sending that breath all the way down the legs and out the feet. We're going to do that 3 times. Inhaling, exhaling out the bottoms of the feet. One more. Inhale. You can even imagine inhaling through the top of the head. That's even more profound. Inhale, draw in, down to the belly. This time we're going to let that air come out the palms of the hands, out the fingertips. Inhale, draw in through the top of the head, let's say. Breath comes to the belly, and then as we exhale, we're going to send that energy and that breath all the way down the arms, out the hands and the fingertips. And one more. And then this one's going to feel really strange or sound really strange. It's going to feel amazing. But remember, the first time you do anything, it feels weird. So that's okay, just call it weird, and then the next time you do it, you like it. Okay, inhale through the top of the head, down to the belly. You're going to let the belly expand with the breath, and then you're going to exhale, and that the breath is going to come out your eyeballs. Your eyes can still be shut, but imagine the breath shooting out your eyeballs. Super weird, right? But amazing all the same. Inhale through the top of the head, down to the belly. Exhale out the eyes. Was that 2 or 3? Let's do one more. Inhale. And exhale out the eyes. Now maybe you don't want to shoot, maybe you want to be a little more gentle about that, the wording of that, but trust me, if you're doing this in bed, you probably don't even get to this point because you're probably already sleeping. But here's another really fabulous one. Inhale through the top of the head, down to the belly. This time the breath's going to come out every single pore of your body. Do that again. Inhale, draw in. Exhaling out every pore, every single pore of your body. I'm listening to Bill Bryson's book on the body, and he just said how many pores we have, and it's insane number of pores. I don't remember, but it's hundreds of thousands, I think. Okay, inhale, draw in. And exhale out your pores. And then just completely relax. Now if you're at home in bed sometimes struggling to get to sleep, do that again, those 4 exercises 3 times each. And if you're not sleeping, just repeat it. And eventually you are sending this message to your central nervous system that you are content. All is well. You don't need to fight the sleep anymore. When you're ready, begin making movements with your fingers and your toes, your wrists and your ankles. Bringing that awareness again to the palms and to the soles of the feet. And then hugging everything in, hugging the knees in, wrapping your hands around your knees. So you're in a lying position like you just made a little ball, and then roll yourself on your right side. When you're ready, push yourself up and join me in this seated position. Closing your eyes when you rise. Stay here and let's finish with these words. Opening your ears. Why do we come back to yoga time after time? Why we remember who we are over and over again. We begin again, time after time, to come home to our true nature. And that's why we practice. We do it because we were born to. The secret longing for truth is where we begin and where we return. Each step toward the light brings that much more peace to our hearts. So with this message of contentedness, we bring the hands into the present moment right here at the heart and bow for these bodies that want to play, for the mind that will surrender, and for the heart that will blossom in our practice, bringing us to a better place of contentment. Without shame, when we forget, we just find the joy in remembering that contentment is our true nature. Thank you for joining me today. Bless you.